We're back with Ruth Marcus to talk more about her book, Supreme Ambition, Brett Kavanaugh and the Conservative Takeover.
Hi.
Welcome back, Ruth.
Thank you.
So, some people may think of this as what they saw through their television screen, which were faces in a room with a bunch of senators. But you sketch a story of titanic forces in America. Bring some of those forces into the story to remind people of really all that's going on in this drama.
Sure. Well, as you say, this is not, everybody was transfixed for a few weeks in the fall of 2018. But this is a story that stretches back decades, literally. This is a 30 years war on behalf of Republicans and conservatives to finally cement a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. And that is the opportunity that they had with the resignation of Justice Anthony Kennedy and with the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh. And as the problems arose with the Kavanaugh nomination, Republicans rallied around him in part because of some of the forces of partisanship that we've been talking about previously, but also because this was their moment to finally achieve this goal of 30 years, and Brett Kavanaugh was too big to fail. They were not going to allow him to do that. And so what I tell in the book, Supreme Ambition, is the story of how everyone from the White House counsel who refused to take a phone call from the president, who was trying desperately to reach him. Don McGahn was worried that the president was going to tell him to yank the Kavanaugh nomination. He didn't want to hear from him. He didn't want to take a call from the most powerful man in America. He told his deputy, "I don't talk to quitters." It's a story of how the FBI and senators, Republican and Democrat, refused to pursue leads that might have jeopardized the Kavanaugh nomination. And it's the story of what the implications are of this nomination for our country, because long after we're done with impeachment and long after the 2020 election, Donald Trump's legacy is going to be the judges that he put on the federal courts and on the Supreme Court, and it is going to be the triumph of conservatives, which explains why they have stuck with him for so long.
And that's a 30 to 40 year, depending on the lifespan of the judges, 30 to 4 year impact on American life, not 4 or 8 years of a presidency.
No, it is a long time, and Donald Trump has been going around and boasting about how his judges are younger than Obama judges. They're going to be around for a while.
Let's talk about Don McGahn, the White House counsel. Really interesting. You just talked about an act of insubordination. There's been a lot of talk about when a staffer can and can't be insubordinate. He is perhaps, and you tell me what you think, the most powerful and beneficial advisor the president has. Wouldn't maybe have gotten elected without him.
So a couple things. Right here in this very building at the Jones Day law firm, Don McGahn helped to orchestrate the thing that probably, among everything else, helped Donald Trump get elected president, which was creating a list of Supreme Court nominees. Not a surprise to have a short list, hugely Trumpian and never done before to have a list that was made public. Guess who was not on that list? Brett Kavanaugh.
Made public during the campaign.
Made public during the campaign. And Brett Kavanaugh managed, with the help of his friends, including Justice Kennedy, to make his way onto that list. And with the help of Don McGahn, who is a fascinating figure, the most consequential White House counsel in history, both Donald Trump's greatest help in terms of this legacy, helping to build the legacy along with the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, that will outlast this president and that he will be proudest of in the long run, but also in the Mueller investigation, and we still see conversations about whether we'll ever get his testimony on that, the president's greatest problem, because he testified and basically created the elements of the obstruction case against the president with Mueller.
15 seconds. The reason the list was so important is it showed conservatives that Donald Trump was
somebody who they could trust and to be taken seriously, and that he would achieve what Republican presidents before him had not managed to achieve and had squandered.
Mitch McConnell thinks that's why he's president. Ruth Marcus,
Indeed.
Thanks so much. It's a great book. Supreme Ambition is out Tuesday. It was published by Simon & Schuster, a division of the CBS Corporation. We'll be right back.